Welcome back to the deep dive. It's really great to have you with us for another discussion. Today, we're delving into some fascinating source material, trying to pull out those essential insights. If you happen to be watching, please do hit that like button and subscribe. Maybe share this with someone you think might find it interesting. And if you're listening, well, a share always helps us reach more people. We love seeing your comments too. They really add a lot. So today we're jumping into a really captivating story, straight from the first two chapters of First Samuel. We're using the New Living Translation of the Bible. Our aim isn't just, a summary. We want to really extract the human stories, the divine interactions, and see what these ancient texts reveal about experiences that still resonate today. Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah, and what's fascinating here is how First Samuel, right from the start, sets the stage for such a pivotal time in ancient Israel. It's more than just stories. It introduces key figures, big themes, especially this idea of leadership transitions and, well, the consequences of actions, both the good and the, frankly, pretty bad. These first chapters, they really lay down some important groundwork.
That's a great point. So chapter 1 of First Samuel immediately throws us into this family situation.
Mm.
We meet Elkanah and his two wives, Hannah and Peninnah. And right away, there's this tension. Peninnah has kids, but Hannah doesn't. And that's not just a side note. It's really the core of Hannah's story here, her immense anguish.
hmm And this family, they make this regular trip, an annual pilgrimage, actually, to Shiloh. This wasn't just a holiday, it was a serious spiritual journey. They went to worship, to offer sacrifices at the tabernacle to the Lord of Heaven's armies. And that title, Lord of Heaven's armies, it's significant. It speaks to God's, supreme power over everything.
Oh, and we should also mention who the priests were at Shiloh then. Eli's sons, Hophni and Phinehas.
Yeah.
Remember those names? They become, well, very relevant.
Yeah, definitely relevant. And you can almost picture the family scene, can't you? Elkanah clearly loves Hannah. He gives her this choice portion of the meat from the sacrifice. But Peninnah, she's cruel. Year after year, the text says, she taunts Hannah because the Lord hadn't given her children. It gets so bad, Hannah just weeps and won't even eat. Elkanah tries to comfort her. He
Yeah.
says things like, why cry? Why not eat? Why be downhearted? You have me. Isn't that better than having 10 sons?
Which, is maybe well-intentioned, but
Totally misses the mark. It doesn't help her sorrow at all. But
right.
what Hannah does next, that's where it gets really interesting. Exactly. She's in deep anguish, bitterness even, and she goes to the tabernacle and just pours out her heart to the Lord. It's this moment of raw prayer, deep desperation, and she makes this incredibly powerful vow. She basically says, Lord of Heaven's armies, if you'll just see my misery, answer my prayer, give me a son, and then I'll give him right back to you for his whole life. And she adds that his hair will never be cut, a sign of that lifelong dedication, like a Nazarite vow. It's a huge commitment.
It really is. And then there's this interaction with Eli, the priest. He's sitting there, sees Hannah praying, her lips moving, but no sound coming out. And he just jumps to the wrong conclusion. He thinks she's drunk.
Yeah, he actually accuses her, must you come here drunk? Throw away your wine. It's quite something.
But Hannah's response is so powerful and clear. She says, "Oh, no, sir, I haven't been drinking. I'm just deeply discouraged, and I was pouring out my heart to the Lord." She asks him not to think she's wicked, explaining she's praying out of great anguish and sorrow. It makes you pause and think about Eli's judgment there.
It does, but to his credit, once he hears her explanation, his whole attitude changes. He gives her this blessing. Go in peace. May the God of Israel grant the request you have asked of him. And what's amazing is the immediate effect on Hannah. The text says she just went back, ate something, and wasn't sad anymore.
Wow.
Yeah, even before she knew for sure her prayer was answered. That shift shows this incredible faith, this hope restored just from unburdening herself and receiving that blessing.
And then the fulfillment. The Lord did remember her. She conceives, gives birth to a son,
Hmm.
and she names him Samuel,
Mm.
which fittingly sounds like the Hebrew for asked of God or maybe heard by God. This is perfectly named.
It is. And Hannah's follow through on her vow is just as striking, maybe even more so. She doesn't forget her promise when she has the child she longed for. She waits until he's weaned, which could have been, 2 or 3 years back then.
Yeah.
Real dedication. Then she takes him, along with her husband, back to Shiloh. Not just him, but a significant offering too. A 3-year-old bowl, flour, wine. This wasn't a small gesture.
Yeah.
And she goes right up to Eli and says, basically, remember me. I'm the woman who stood here praying. I asked the Lord for this boy, and he gave him to me. So now I'm giving him back to the Lord. He'll belong to the Lord his whole life.
That level of commitment.
Mm.
It's extraordinary. Just handing over your long-awaited child.
It truly is. It shows incredible integrity and trust.
Okay, so that brings us to chapter 2.
Hmm.
And right away, we hear from Hannah again. But the tone, completely different. It's not anguish anymore. It's this powerful prayer of praise.
Mhm.
This shift is dramatic, almost startling. Her despair is turned completely into exaltation.
Oh, absolutely. And this prayer, it's packed with theology, even some prophetic hints. It's a way more than just personal thanks. She starts by rejoicing, feeling strong in the Lord, declaring, "No one is holy like the Lord. There is no one besides you. There is no rock like our God."
Strong words.
Very. Then she warns against pride, saying the Lord judges actions. And she talks about these amazing reversals of fortune. The bow of the mighty is now broken. Those who stumbled are now strong. The childless woman now has 7 children. It's this picture of God turning everything upside down.
Yeah, the powerful brought low, the weak lifted up. Yeah.
Exactly. His power over life, death, poverty, wealth. And she declares, no one will succeed by strength alone. And then, this is really key, she prophesies about the Lord giving power to his king and strength to his anointed one. Now, if we connect this to the bigger picture, Israel doesn't have a king yet. This prayer is looking ahead. It sets themes for the whole book. God's justice, the coming monarchy, this idea of divine reversal. It's like a thematic roadmap.
That's fascinating. It adds so much depth.
Mhm.
But then the chapter pivots sharply, doesn't it? We see young Samuel serving the Lord faithfully in the tabernacle, even wearing this little linen garment like a priest. And right alongside that,
Right alongside that, you have Eli's sons, Hophni and Phinehas. And the description is blunt: scoundrels who had no respect for the Lord or for their duties as priests.
such a stark contrast.
It really is. And their corruption wasn't subtle. They were literally taking sacrificial meat by force. They demand raw meat before the fat. The Lord's portion was even burned on the altar. It was just utter contempt for the offerings, basically stealing from God.
Wow. And it wasn't just that, was it?
No. The text also mentions they were seducing the women who served at the tabernacle entrance. So, abusing their power, defiling the holy place. It's a picture of deep decay right at the center of Israel's worship.
And Eli, he knew about it.
Oh, yes, he knew. The reports were getting around. He confronts them, asks them, "Why do you keep sinning? The reports I hear are not good. You must stop, my sons."
But they don't listen.
They don't. And the text gives this chilling reason: because the Lord was already planning to put them to death.
Oof, like they'd crossed the line.
It seems so. Their actions had sealed their fate. A divine judgment was set.
Which leads to this other figure appearing, the man of God.
Exactly. This unnamed prophet shows up and delivers this incredibly severe message from the Lord directly to Eli. He starts by reminding Eli of God's grace, how his ancestor Aaron was chosen for the priesthood. Builds him up a little.
And then the hammer falls.
Pretty much. Condemnation for Eli and his sons for scorning the sacrifices, getting fat from the best offerings, essentially putting their own desires above God's commands. And the prophecy is brutal. Eli's family line in the priesthood will be cut off. His descendants will die young. No old men left in his family.
Wow, that's heavy.
It is. And a specific sign is given. Hophni and Phinehas will die on the same day. Undeniable proof. But even in judgment, there's this glimmer of future hope. The Lord says he will raise up a faithful priest, someone who will do his will and whose priestly family will endure. It hints at a future beyond this corruption.
A new beginning, eventually. And amidst all this darkness, the corrupt priests, the coming judgment. The chapter ends with Samuel. Meanwhile, the boy Samuel grew taller and grew in favor with the Lord and with the people. Such a hopeful note to end on.
A real beacon, isn't it?
So, stepping back from the details, what does this all mean for us listening today? What are the big takeaways?
Well, I think these stories, they really shine a light on some enduring truths, don't they? You see Hannah's story, it speaks volumes about faith, about persevering through really deep suffering, and how that can lead to, well, transformation and praise. Then you have the flip side with Eli's sons. It's a stark warning about moral corruption, especially when you're in a position of trust or leadership. It shows how that doesn't just hurt you, it pollutes everything around you.
Yeah.
And overarching all of it is this sense of divine justice, that God sees, he cares about integrity, he holds people accountable for their actions. These aren't just ancient tales, they're illustrations of principles that still matter profoundly.
Absolutely. The human element is so relatable. Hannah's pain, Peninnah's cruelty. Sadly, we see versions of that. Elkanah trying but failing to
Yeah.
comfort. Eli's struggle with his kids. These are timeless human struggles, but they're set against these huge themes: God's power, accountability,
Yeah.
faithfulness. What part of this resonates most with you listening right now? Is it Hannah's perseverance, the warnings about leadership, the idea of justice? It's quite a journey we've taken through just 2 chapters, from deep personal despair to
Yeah.
this soaring prophetic praise. And then this shocking contrast between devotion and corruption right at the heart of worship.
It really covers a lot of ground. And maybe a final thought to leave you with is this. We see Hannah's faithfulness rewarded in such a clear way, and Eli's family facing judgment for their disrespect and corruption. So, what does that suggest about accountability and divine justice today? Does it only apply to big leaders, or does it say something about the consequences of all our actions, our integrity, our respect for what's sacred, even in our own, maybe smaller spheres of life? It raises an important question, I think.
That's a powerful thought to ponder. Thank you for joining us for this discussion today. We really hope you'll continue exploring these rich narratives on your own, and we look forward to having you back with us for our next deep dive.